Hello there. Welcome to Storytime. It's me, Josh. As per usual, we've got Walt Disney's Peter Pan to read today. It's a great story. Some of you may have heard of it, some not, but it's also fine because we're about to find out anyway. We're about to read the story together. Super excited. Get comfortable. Get ready, wherever you are, because we're about to delve into Storytime. That's right. Here we go. Walt Disney's Peter Pan. I love this story. It's a long one, so we're going to split it into two parts today. Let's delve into the first half, just jump into the next video after this, and find out what happens in the second half. Here we go. In a quiet street in London lived the Darling family. There were Father and Mother Darling, Wendy, Michael, and John, as well as the children's nursemaid, Nana, a Saint Bernard. You can see them there. At bedtime in the nursery, Wendy always told wonderful stories about Peter Pan and Neverland, a magical place with mermaids and fairies and wicked pirates too. John and Michael liked best of all to play pirate. They had some fine slashing duels between Peter Pan and his arch enemy, the pirate Captain Hook. Father Darling did not like this kind of play. He blamed it on Wendy's childish stories of Peter Pan. It's time for Wendy to grow up, decided Father Darling. This is your last night in the nursery, Wendy girl. All the children were much upset at that. Without Wendy, there would be no more stories of Peter Pan. That very evening, who should come to the nursery but Peter Pan, and a fairy named Tinkerbell. It seemed Peter had been out looking for his lost shadow. When he overheard that Wendy was to be moved from the nursery, he hit upon a plan. "I'll take you to Neverland with me to tell stories to my lost boys," he decided, as Wendy sewed his shadow back on. As you can see, his shadows, a whole separate Peter Pan. So he's sewing the shadow back onto Peter Pan's feet as the shadow let loose. Wendy thought that was a lovely idea, if Michael and John could go too. So Peter Pan taught them all to fly, with happy thoughts and faith and trust, and a sprinkling of Tinkerbell's pixie dust. Then out of the nursery window they sailed, heading for Neverland, while Nana barked frantically below. Back in Neverland, Captain Hook was grumbling about Peter Pan. You see, once in a fair fight long ago, Peter Pan had cut off one of the pirate captain's hands, so that he had to wear a hook instead. Then Pan threw the hand to a crocodile, who enjoyed the taste of Hook so much that he'd been lurking around ever since, hoping to nibble at the rest of him. Fortunately for the pirate, the crocodile had also swallowed a clock. He went tick-tock when he came near, which gave a warning to Captain Hook. It's the tick-tock clock. Some of you may know. Some of you out there are like, "We know, Josh, the tick-tock clock, yeah." Now, as Captain Hook grumbled about his young enemy, there was a call from the crow's nest. "Peter Pan, ahoy!" "What? Where?" shouted Hook, twirling his spyglass around in the sky. Then he spied Peter and the children pausing for a rest on a cloud. "Swoggle me eyes, it is Pan!" Hook gloated. "Pipe up the crew, man the guns, we'll get him this last time." You see them up on the cloud there, resting. Away flew Tinkerbell as fast as she could go. In her naughty little heart, she hoped the children would fall behind and be lost. She was especially jealous of the Wendy girl, who seemed to have won Peter Pan's heart. Straight through the Neverland jungle, Tinker flew down into a clearing beside Hangman's tree. She landed on a toadstool, bounced to a shiny leaf, and pop! A secret door opened for her in the knot of the old hollow tree. Zip! Down a slippery tunnel, Tink slid. She landed at the bottom in an underground room, the secret house of Peter Pan. You can see there through the tree, down into the secret house. Ting-a-ling, she tinked, trying to awaken the sleeping lost boys. At last, rather grumpily, they woke up and stretched as they listened to Tinkerbell. "What? Pan wants us to shoot down a terrible Wendy bird?" "Lead us to it," they shouted, and out they hurried. Well, that's not very nice of Tinkerbell. Wants to take out Wendy. Oh, When Wendy and Michael and John appeared, flying wearily, the Lost Boys tried to pelt them with stones and sticks, especially the Wendy bird. Down tumbled Wendy, all of her happy thoughts destroyed. Without them no one can fly. "Hooray, we got the Wendy bird," the Lost Boys shouted, but then Peter Pan arrived. How angry he was when he discovered that the boys had tried to shoot down Wendy, even though he'd caught her before she could be hurt. "I brought her to be a mother to us all and tell us stories," he said. "Come on, Wendy," said Peter. "I'll show you the mermaids. Boys, take Michael and John to hunt some Indians." So Peter and Wendy flew away, and the boys marched off through the forest, planning to capture some Indians. There were wild animals all around, but the boys never thought to be afraid, and not a creature harmed as they went through the thick woods. "First, we'll surround the Indians," John decided. "Then we'll take them by surprise." John's plan worked splendidly, but it was the Indians who used it. Disguised as moving trees, they quietly surrounded the boys and took them by surprise. So they call the Indians the other creatures of the forest, and the Indians that inhabit the land there. Soon bound with ropes, the row of boys marched away, led by the Indians to their village on the cliff. "Don't worry, the Indians are our friends," the Lost Boys said, but the chief looked stern. Meanwhile, on the other side of the island, Wendy and Peter were visiting the mermaids in their peaceful mermaid lagoon. As they were chatting together, Peter suddenly said, "Hush!" A boat from the pirate ship was going by. In it were wicked Captain Hook and Smee, the pirate cook, and at the stern, all bound with ropes, sat Princess Tiger Lily, daughter of the Indian chief. "We'll make her talk," sneered Captain Hook. "She'll tell us where Peter Pan lives, or we'll leave her tied to the slippery Skull Rock, where the tide will wash over her." But proud and loyal Tiger Lily would not say a single word. It's them watching. Hook, Smee, and Princess Tiger Lily in the boat. Hopefully they can help. Peter and Wendy flew to Skull Rock. Peter, by imitating Hook's voice, tried to trick Smee into setting Tiger Lily free. That almost worked, but Hook discovered the trick and came after Peter with his sword. Then what a thrilling duel they had, all over the rocky cave where Princess Tiger Lily sat, tied up to her chin. Peter won the duel and rescued Tiger Lily just in the nick of time. Then away he flew to the Indian village to see the princess safely home, and Wendy went along behind. Oh, look, I'll leave it right there. Right, Captain Hook and Peter Pan having a little duel, but don't worry, Peter Pan saved Tiger Lily, which is great. Tune into the next video, the second half of this story. Find out what happens in the rest. Looking forward to reading that with you. Thanks so much for being here for that one. All right, Peter Pan by Walt Disney. Looking forward to reading the rest. Bye for now, but definitely not forever. I'm going to leave the light on.